And
Scott, who's very important, we now turn to page 10 and begin with Hine Matov. How beautiful it is that we're all together today. Hine Matov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine Matov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine Matov shevet achim gam yachad. Hine Matov shevet achim gam yachad. Hine Matov u'manayim 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 shevet achim gam yachad. Hine Matov, hine Matov, ya la la ya la 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 la. Hine Matov, hine Matov, ya la la ya la 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 la. Hine Matov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine Matov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. On page 24, we have our blessing, Shalom Aleichem, welcoming in the Holy One, our ministering majesties of blessing. Page 24, Shalom Aleichem. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharim, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malachei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Boachem Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malachei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Baruchuni leShalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malachei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Sefchem leShalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malachei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
Shabbat Shalom. So wonderful to be together. I'm Rabbi Lana Zilberman Soloway, together here with our Erev Rav, almost a Rabbi, Lisa Friedman and Scott Raven at the piano. Thank you for being us in the sanctuary. Thank you everybody for worshiping with us online. Shabbat Shalom. We are warming up musically and physically. It's cold outside. And before we go any further, we want to bring in all the possible light into the sanctuary, into our souls, into this holy, sacred space, which is the space of Shabbat. So I would like to invite our dear friends, Catherine and Robert Rosenthal, to lead us in our candle lighting.
Yai lai 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 lai, 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 yai lai 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 lai. Baruch atah Shanu b'mitzvotav, b'mitzvotav. Vitzivanu, vitzivanu lehadlik ner. Vitzivanu, vitzivanu lehadlik ner. Vitzivanu, vitzivanu lehadlik ner. Shel Shabbat. Ya la 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 la, 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 ya la.
So we're bringing in the light for ourselves who are here, but also for people that are close to our hearts and perhaps are not here physically. Maybe they are in their home, maybe they're in their hospital room, maybe they're somewhere in the world, maybe they are worshiping online. And we think of all the people that need this extra light this evening, this particular Shabbat, and sending them all the energy that we can together from our community, from our light to their light, from our heart to theirs. And as you know, for the last 435 days, which are 62 weeks since October 7th, we've been also lighting additional candle to remember all the hostages. Tonight, I'm thinking particularly about all the 100 hostages, but particularly about the female hostages, about Romy and Liri and Agam and Doron and Naama and others. And later on, you'll see why particularly tonight I'm thinking about women that are kept against their will. But before we move on, I want to take a moment then to pray that all of them will be home with their families lighting Shabbat candles before the next Shabbat. And if you'll join me on your song sheets, song number 1, prayer number 1, the prayer that really become the symbol in so many ways for our desire for everybody to come home. Acheinu, our brothers, our sisters. Join me. בצרה ובשביה, העומדים בין בים ובין ביבשה. אחינו כל בית ישראל, אחיותינו כל בית ישראל, הנתונים בצרה, בצרה ובשביה, השביה העומדים בין בים ובין ביבשה. המקום ירחם, ירחם עליהם ויוציאם מצרה לרווחה ומאפלה להוראה ומשעבוד לגאולה השתה בהגנה ובזמן קריב ואמרו Every Friday night, we also take the time to count our blessings and to really think about everything that is worthy in our lives to be grateful for and to say thank you for. So I want to invite you to take a minute and just think about this day, this past week, this past time, and turn to someone next to you, whether you came with them or just met here, and just share something in your life that you have witnessed. Maybe it's a person, maybe it's something in nature that you witnessed, maybe it's a good deed that you witnessed that someone did, maybe it's something else, but something that is truly worth saying thank you for, please. So as we're counting our blessings and are grateful also to be here with one another, I know that I am grateful to be with all of you and with Lisa and with Scott. We want to say thank you to God for giving us life, for sustaining us, and for helping us to reach this moment. So hold each other close and join us for Shehechianu.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehechianu v'kimanu v'higianu lazman hazeh. So tonight we are doing L'chadodi, and it's a bit of a different melody than we sometimes do. So I'd like for us to turn to page 20 now. We're going to be on 20 and 21. And this prayer helps us to welcome Shabbat in and welcome the Sabbath bride in. So we're going to be doing verses, the first part is the chorus. L'chadodi, that you see at the top of page 20, is the chorus. So we'll always be coming back to that, and I'm going to teach that part. And we'll be doing verses 1, 2, 5, and 9. And 5 and 9 are on page 21, and 1 and 2 are on page 20. So this L'chadodi was written by a teacher of mine, Rabbi Josh Warshawski. It's a really beautiful melody. I'm going to teach you the L'chadodi part. Repeat after me. L'chadodi.
L'chadodi.
Likrat kala.
Likrat kala.
Pnei Shabbat.
Pnei Shabbat.
Nekabela.
Nekabela.
So that's going to kind of be our chorus. And here's how it goes. Lecha dodi. Try that. Lecha dodi. Beautiful. Likrat kala. Try that. Likrat kala. So good. Pene Shabbat. Try that. Pene Shabbat. Nekabela. Try that. Nekabela. Nekabela. That's the whole thing. Lecha dodi. Sing it with me. Likrat kala. Pene Shabbat. Nekabela. We go up the second time. Let's try it all together. Lecha dodi. Lecha dodi. Likrat kala. Pene Shabbat. Nekabela. Lecha dodi. Likrat kala. Pene Shabbat. Nekabela. Verse 1. Shamor v'zachor. Shamor v'zachor. B'dibur echad. Hishmianu el hamilchad. Adonai echad. U'shemo echad. L'shem u'tiferet. V'litchila. Lecha dodi. Likrat kala. Pene Shabbat. Nekabela. Lecha dodi. Likrat kala. Pene Shabbat. Nekabela. Likrat Shabbat. Likrat Shabbat. Lichu v'nilcha. Ki hi mikor ha'berachah. Mirosh mikedem nisucha. Sof ma'aseh b'machshava tehila. Lecha dodi. Likrat kala. Pene Shabbat. Nekabela. Lecha dodi. Likrat kala. Pene Shabbat. Nekabela. Page 21. Hitoreri. 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 Ki ba'orech umi uri. Uri. Shir darberi. Kivod Adonai. Alayech nikla. Lecha dodi. Likrat kala. Pene Shabbat. Nekabela. Lecha dodi. Likrat kala. Pene Shabbat. Nekabela. We rise and face the door to greet the Sabbath bride on verse 9. Boi v'shalom ateret bala. Gam b'simcha u'v'tzola. Toch emunei lam segula. Boi chala. Boi chala. We turn back around as a community. Lecha dodi. One last time. Lecha dodi. Likrat kala. Pene Shabbat. we stay risen for Baruch Hu, which is on page 28, our call to worship. Be seated. We're now going to turn on our song sheets to number 3. And this is going to be new to us as well, and I thank you for getting these new melodies in. I think it's beautiful to bring new melodies into our prayer space. So this is a new to us Shema, written by my friend Celia Teddy. And we're actually going to sing this kind of as an intention grabber, like we're grabbing our intentions, we're figuring out what we want to go into Shema with spiritually, and then at the end we're going to sing a familiar version of Shema, Shema Yisrael, and for that we'll rise, so I'll kind of motion to you and we're ready to rise. And I'm going to teach you the part in bold, Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu, can you hear my voice, O God, we are one. And then it goes into Adonai, Adonai Echad. You are one, Adonai, Adonai Echad. Help us to become one. I really love this because it's bringing in the aspect of God being one, but also us as a community being one. And how do we have God as our, whatever you believe in, right? A spiritual being, whatever you believe in, help us to be one as a community, and help us to, as you'll see in this prayer, raise our voice as we heal the world together and lift our voice as we strive for compassion. It's really beautiful intention to go into this prayer with. So we're going to start with that bold that we'll come back to every time we do a verse. It's kind of like our chorus, a mantra, if you will. Here's how it goes. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu. Let's try that. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu. You sound so beautiful tonight. Can you hear my voice, O God? Oh God, we are one. That's how that goes. Can you hear my voice, O God? Oh God, we are one. Let's try it from Shema. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu. Can you hear my voice, O God? Oh God, we are one. The next part goes up a bit. Adonai, Adonai Echad. Let's try that. Adonai, Adonai Echad. You are one, you are one. You are one, you are one. Adonai, Adonai So let's try the whole chorus from Shema. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu. Can you hear my voice, O God? O God, we are one. Adonai, Adonai Echad. You are one, you are one. Adonai, Adonai Echad. Help us to become one. The top of number 3. Can you hear my voice? Can you hear my voice, O God, as we gather together? Can you hear my voice, O God, as we gather as one? Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu. Can you hear my voice, O God? O God, we are one. Adonai, Adonai Echad. You are one, you are one. Adonai, Adonai Echad. Help us to become one. Can you raise our voice, O God, as we heal the world together? Can you raise our voice, O God, as we heal as one? Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu. Can you hear my voice, O God? Oh God, we are one. Adonai, Adonai Echad. You are one, you are one. Adonai, Adonai Echad. Help us to become one. Can you lift our voice, O God, as we strive for compassion? Can you lift our voice, O God, as we love as one? Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu. Can you hear my voice, O God? Oh God, we are one. Adonai, Adonai Echad. You are one, you are one. Adonai, Adonai Echad. Help us to become one. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu. Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed. You may be seated. We turn now to Micha Mocha, our freedom song on page 40. מלכותך ראו בניך, בוקע ים לפני משה ומרים, זה אלינו ואמרו, זה אלינו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. יאי לי 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 יאי לי 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 יאי לי יאי לי 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 יאי לי 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 יאי לי 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 יאי לי. We take another moment to welcome Shabbat, to recognize the joy of Shabbat, the joy of being here together with Vishamru, which you can find on page 44. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et hashavat לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני, עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
Please look at the center of the page, just as we are on the same page. Page 44, right in the center, in the middle, where it says the English, the people of Israel. Can everybody see that? Let's read this paragraph together. Ready? 1, 2, 3. The people of Israel shall keep Shabbat, observing Shabbat throughout the ages as a covenant for all time. It is a sign for all time between me and the people of Israel. For in 6 days Adonai made heaven and earth, and on the seventh day God ceased from work and was refreshed. A few weeks ago, we were learning this particular prayer at Kesher with our young students, and ever since we sing it, then I have like an extra smile coming up. So we were learning about covenant, and we took Shabbat as the perfect example of the covenant that we are fortunate to have as the Jewish people with God. And the Shamru, which we sing every single Friday. I'm not sure we think about the words, but here we are. That's why we're reading it in English, to make sure that we all understand really the intention of this beautiful prayer. God is telling us, the same way as I created the world in 6 days, and on the seventh day, I ceased from labor, right? I ceased from creating. I stopped. I did Shabbat, which literally in the Hebrew language means a strike, a full stop. Nothing should be happening besides rest. So God is telling us, the same way that I worked for 6 days when I created and I stopped on the seventh day, you shall do the same. Because I created you people in my image, says God. So you should follow my lead. And in the same way, you should work for 6 days. And on the seventh day, you rest. In America, we are fortunate to have an extra day. But in Israel, it doesn't really work like that. In Israel, we take the words literally, and therefore, we work 6 days a week, and we only rest one day, and that's on Shabbat, on Saturday. And Sunday is the Monday. Right. It's the beginning of a work day. And then it says that Shabbat, I gave you this incredible concept. Not only to you, by the way, God says, I gave the world this beautiful gift of a day of rest. Almost like saying, I did not have to do that. You guys could have worked 7 days a week. I gave you this precious gift.
You're welcome.
Yeah, seriously. Of resting. And you, people, says God, need to remember and do something with this special gift. And the most beautiful part that I love about this, God says, only remembering is not enough. When we were in the class, I was with our sixth graders, and I told them, when the sun goes down on Friday night, and you see the sunset, and you know that it's the beginning of a new day, because in Judaism, right, the day starts when the sun goes down and not when it rises. But on Friday night, when the sun goes down, it's not a regular sunset. It's a special sunset for Shabbat. But even if you saw that, and you remembered it's a special sunset, but you don't do something about it, it's almost like it doesn't count. It's almost like I will remember that it's Heidi's birthday. But it will be written in my calendar. But I'm not going to say happy birthday, and I'm not going to write a card, and I'm not going to congratulate her. So what good did it do to me that in my calendar said it's her birthday? So it's the same thing. It's not enough to remember it's Shabbat. We need to do something about it actively. For example, we can light candles. We can come and be together. We can say a blessing. We can have a beautiful Shabbat meal with our family, or whatever the beautiful traditions that each of us are doing in our homes. But it really is special. It's not enough to remember. We are people of action. So when we remember something, we really need to actively do something about it. So Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
And now that Shabbat is definitely in this beautiful sanctuary and in our hearts, we are invited for our core prayer of our tradition, which is the Amidah. So please rise and join us on page 46. We will chant together the first 3 paragraphs, and then we will continue silently, either using the words of the Siddur or the words of our heart.
Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi yagid tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Page 48. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu ve'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, ve'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor ve'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'Konei Hakol, V'Zocher Chasdei Avot ve'Imahot, Umevi Geula Livnei V'neihem, Lema'an Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer Umoshia Umagen. Baruch Atah Adonai, Magen Avraham Ve'ezrat Sarah. Page 50. Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechaye Hakol Atah Rav Lehoshia, Mashiv HaRuach Umorid HaGashem, Mechakel Chayim Bechesed, Mechaye Hakol Berachamim Rabim, Somech Noflim Verofech Olim, Umatir Asurim, Umekayem Emunato, Lishene Afar, Micha Mocha Baal Gevurot, Umido Melach, Melech Lemit Umechayeh, Umatzmiach Yeshua, V'ne'emanata lehachayot hakol. Baruch atah Adonai, mechayeh hakol. Page 52. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, u'kedoshim b'chol yom, yehalelucha selah. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el hakadosh.
We take a few minutes to continue silently. You can use the words of the Siddur, of the prayer book, or the words of your heart, and just be in that moment and ask for your deepest desires and your deepest requests of everything that you would like for yourself, for your loved ones, for our community, for this world. And we meet again on page 62. It's Oseh Shalom, our prayer for peace.
Oseh Shalom bimromav, Hu yaseh Shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, ve'imnu. Israel.
Whenever we're together, we take a moment to send energy of healing to all those in our lives and beyond. We need it tonight, tomorrow, this week, in the upcoming days. Healing of the soul, of the body, of the spirit, of the mind, whoever is struggling with the challenges of life or with their own health. And we want to do it together. So we'll go around the room, and please share if you're thinking about a special someone this evening. We want to collect all the names and to send the energy from all of us in their way and hope that they will get better. So this evening we pray for healing of we pray the Misha Berach together on page 253. Those in need of healing with refuah shelema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say I wish all of you to stand so close to Lisa and to hear her sing. From this mount is definitely going to where it needs to be. Amen. Refuah shlema. Shabbat shalom, everyone. These weeks we are reading Torah from the book of Genesis, from Sefer Bereshit. And it's not just a book. It's our origins, it's who we are. It tells us all about the most ancient humanity and the most ancient Jewish family and how we came to be. In fact, some will say the stories that are told in the book of Genesis really make us who we are today. So last week, we were with Yaakov, with Jacob, who was running from his twin brother, Esau, and leaving the land of Israel that was promised to his father and his grandfather. And when he got to his destination, visiting his uncle Lavan, he got married, not with one wife, but with two. And we heard all about the 12 sons, no less, that were born to Yaakov, and also one daughter. And then this week, we continue with the story, and there's a lot of drama in this week's Torah portion, Vayishalach. The ancient text in Genesis really filled with moments of struggle and transformation. It embodies stories that have enormous effect on who we are as human beings and also who we are as Jews. Just to get us going and opening up our imagination, because you all heard these stories before. For example, we read about the meeting and the reconciliation between the two brothers, Rebekah's twin sons, Yaakov and Esau, after not seeing each other for over 20 years. We also read about the struggle of Yaakov with God, at the end of which Yaakov received another name, Israel, our name. We also read about the birth of Yosef from Rachel and her tragic death in the city of Bethlehem. And at the end of the parsha, we also read about Yaakov's death and his burial with his father and grandfather in the cave of our patriarchs and matriarchs in the city of Hebron. So a lot of stories that really tell us about where we come from and who we are. I want to highlight another story from this week's Torah portion. And this story embodies a lot of pain. And this story also has a lot of injustice. And this story also has a lot of silence. And this story is about Dinah, the daughter of Yaakov and Leah, and the terrible harm that was done to her. It's written in the beginning of chapter 34, ותצא דינה בת לאה, אשר ילדה ליעקב, לראות בבנות הארץ. Dinah, Leah's daughter, who she had born to Yaakov, went out to see the women of the locality. The next verse says, ויער אותה שכם בן חמור, החיבי, נשיא הארץ, ויקח אותה, וישכב אותה, ויעניה. Shem, son of Hamor, who was a local prince, saw her, looked at her, took her, and did what he did. We have young people in our sanctuary, so he did what he did. Dinah was violated, brutally taken by men from a public place. And Dinah is the only daughter of Yaakov, or at least the only one who is mentioned in the Torah. Maybe there were other daughters, but we don't know anything about them. She is a sister of 12 brothers. When they found out what happened to her, they were angry, they were upset. Some would say they were beyond themselves. But what followed was silence. Her father Yaakov was silent, and her brothers were silent. And here we are reading about it 3,500 years later, and we are left wondering, why? Why silent? Dinah's story, unfortunately, is not just an ancient story. It happens in our world every day. Acts of rape and violence, system that hurt people, moments in which those who can't speak up chose to remain silent. Silence can be very dangerous. Elie Wiesel once said, we must take sides. Neutrality helps the oppressor, never the victim. Silence encourages the tormentor, never the tormented. There are things we just can't stay silent about, whether it's violence against women, racism, anti-Semitism, or any kind of injustice. Staying quiet doesn't make the problem go away. It only allows it to grow. When we don't speak up, we leave people like Dina alone in their pain. Silence isn't always wrong. For example, in this Torah portion, Yaakov also teaches us about a different kind of silence. In the quiet of the night, Yaakov wrestled with an angel. He was alone, struggling with his fears, his guilt, his past. But his silence transformed him. His silence gave him strength to move forward, to face Esav, to step into a new version of himself. So how will we know the difference? According to Musar, which is an 18th century virtue-based Jewish ethical spiritual practice that gives concrete instructions to how to live a meaningful and ethical life, silence is one of the most important virtues. Rabbi Menachem Mendel defined silence in the following way. Before you open your mouth, be silent and reflect. What benefit will my speech bring me or others? One of the great challenges inherent in our speaking is that we do not always realize the impact of our words on another. Once something is said, it cannot be taken back. We can apologize, of course, but that does not take away the hurt that we have done, perhaps. However, in other times, it is absolutely essential to speak. Our speech is one of the greatest gifts of being human. It should be used for this emanating wisdom, for connecting, for expressing love and care, and of course, for speaking up for those who are not able to speak for themselves. When we are being harmed, or when we witness harm being done to others, we just have to speak up. Silence for reflection can give us clarity and strength, but silence in face of suffering, that is something we just cannot afford. When someone is hurting, we need to be upstanders and not bystanders. Being an upstander doesn't always mean fixing the whole world. Sometimes it is as simple as saying to someone, I see you. I hear you. You are not alone. Dina's story calls to us today. It actually asks us, what are we staying silent about? Who needs us to speak up? And it reminds us of this truth. Silence can hurt, but our voices can heal. The Baal Shem Tov, the founder of Hasidism, taught that silence in the face of evil creates a void where darkness can grow. When someone is suffering, or when an injustice is done, we are not meant to retreat into stillness. We are meant to speak out, to fill the void with light and action. Earlier this week, on Tuesday, December 10th, we marked the International Day of Human Rights, commemorating the anniversary of one of the world's most groundbreaking global pledges, which is the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. This landmark document enshrines the inalienable rights that everyone is entitled to as human beings, regardless of race, color, religion, sex, language, political or other opinion, national or social origin, property, birth, or their status. The declaration was proclaimed by the United Nations General Assembly in Paris on December 10th, 1948, and sets out for the first time a fundamental human rights to be universally protected. Eleanor Roosevelt once said, where, after all, the universal human rights begin. In small places, close to home. So close and so small that they cannot be seen on any map of the world. It is nice, of course, that in the last 76 years, on every December 10th, we remember this important declaration. However, as we discussed previously, remembering, just remembering, without doing something active about it, is just not enough. This is the second time we read this Torah portion since October 7th. And we cannot read it in the same way as before. We just cannot. For the last 435 days, 100 hostages had been held in Gaza, 15 of whom are women, held in captivity for 62 weeks, and the world has been largely silent. In the Torah, after being brutally harmed, Dinah was returned to her family. And I wonder, what about Shiri, Arbel, Emily, Karina, Agam, Liri, Daniela, Naama, Doron, Amit, Elizabeth, Romy, Inbar, Ofra, and Judith? When will they get to come home? Earlier this week, Erin Molan, an Australian news presenter, was fired from Sky News after defending Israel in the media, on television, for the last year plus. This morning, in an interview, she said the following: I have been fighting for the release of the hostages from Gaza, while the world continues to give glory to those who abducted them. If I will not do anything about it, I will be as guilty as those who show up with a Hamas flag to a phony demonstration that has nothing to do with Palestinian lives. I care about you, about the world, about human rights for every single child, about personal security for every woman out there. I care about the future of my own daughter and of your children, and about doing the right thing against what seems at the moment as an unstoppable evil. May we be inspired by this courageous woman, Erin Molan. May we also honor Dinah by speaking up for those who cannot. I hope we can find courage to break our silence at times, to stand up for what is right. May we make it our goal not to let even one single day go by without talking about the hostages, until every single one of them, women, children, men, young and old, all of them will be home, reunited with their loved ones. May it be God's will. Shabbat Shalom.
May the words of our mouths and the meditations of our hearts be acceptable to you, O God, our rock and our Redeemer. Yehiu liratzon im refi vehegyon libi lefanecha Adonai tzuri Vigoali Adonai Tsuri Vigoali.
some announcements before we conclude. I'm going to talk about Hanukkah, Festival of Light. Also a great opportunity to remember that in this dark months of the year, as we're going and the days become shorter and the nights become longer, it's important to remember that God created the world from darkness. At the beginning, the only thing that was in the world was darkness. And then God looked around, saw the darkness, and the first action was God saying, Vayehi or, there shall be light. And immediately after that, creating light, creating the sun, the moon, and the stars. And on the sixth day, God created us, in a way saying to us, you be the light. It's not enough that we have light somewhere up there. We need to spread the light all over the world. So let us remember that we are change makers, and we are the light, not anybody else, every single one of us. And that will give us a reason to celebrate the Festival of Lights. And remember that 2,200 years ago, in the land of Israel, there was a very, very, very small group of courageous Jewish people that decided to be the light, to go fight the injustice. And thanks to them, we continue the tradition until this very day. So they did it then, we do it now. And one of the ways is to help Congregation Ora Me to make sure that every single family in our community will get a beautiful gift for Hanukkah. So we are seeking for some volunteers. There are two ways to help. One way, if you're available next Tuesday, to come and help Lori Kalman and our team to assemble the gifts together into beautiful packages. So if you can do that, please let Lori Kalman or Isela know. And another way to help is next Sunday on December 22nd, between 10 to 12, we will be delivering the beautiful gifts of Hanukkah and some yummy donuts to every single household in our community. So if you're available to drive around for a couple of hours and to knock on somebody's door and bring them a gift, which is the best thing ever. So please also let us know, and we will be very, very appreciative of your time and your help. Since we're talking about Hanukkah, please join us when we celebrate Hanukkah together as a community on Friday, December 27th. So it's going to be all-age fun, a party and a dinner and lighting the candles and eating lots of sweets, and it's going to be awesome. Please mark your calendar. What else is interesting happening? On December 22nd, also next Sunday, if you're part of the village is having a Hanukkah party. It's going to be right here between 12 and 2. And everything else, there's a lot. It's on our website or on the beautiful board at the end of the nursery. So check it out before you go home. And with that, we'll move on, concluding our Shabbat service. So first things first, we want to take a moment and remember those who are no longer with us in body, but always with us in our heart. So if it's your site, in your family, for someone that you love, or somebody that you're thinking of that maybe left this world in the last year, please bring them into the room so we can remember them together. So this evening, we remember Please rise, and we'll recite the words of the Kaddish together on page 294. יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, בעלמא דברה חירותי, וימליך מלכותי, בחייכון וביומכון, ובחיי בכל בית ישראל, בעגלה ובזמן קריב, ואמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מבורך לעולם ועלמי עלמיה. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי לקודשה בריחו. לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, דאמירן בעלמא ואמרו אמן. יהיה שלום הרבה מן שמיא, וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו אמן. May their memory be forever a blessing. זיכרונם לברכה. Please get your loved ones close, and if you're standing by yourself, please stand next to someone so we can be together for our final closing prayer, Hashkivenu.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu Lishalom, Lishalom, V'ha'avidenu Shovrenu V'chayim. Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha, Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha. Shelter us beneath thy wings, O Adonai. Guard us from our harmful things, O Adonai. Keep us safe throughout the night, till we wait the morning's light. Keep us healthy, wrong from right.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.